Hey, guess what? This right here just told me something. Listen, if you got a job, you need to start sucking up. You make sure you're smiling, make sure you're doing everything, make sure that you are unfireable if you work for somebody else. If you run your own company, you need to be creative. You need to think about other streams of income, other things you can do. The reason why is I think we getting ready to go through a crash. And it's a lot of reasons that I could say on this right here, but I think we getting ready to go through a crash, and there's some things that's happening. So one of the things is I got a email from YouTube Premium, and I think it said they going from $12.99 to $18.99. Do you know what that means? Think about that now. Think of any price increase you've ever seen. Any price increase you have ever seen, it's supposed to go up at the most like 10%. So $12.99, that's $13. 10% is $1.30. That's $14.30. 20% would be $2.60. That would be $15.60. 30% would be $3.90. So 13 plus $3.90, you basically $4. You looking at $17. They going up like 40%. Something like that. 40 or 50% that they going up. Think about this now. And what just happened also? People mortgage, because your insurance is included in that mortgage. People saying they mortgage, people with like big houses and stuff, they mortgage done went up over $1,000, went up in the thousands. People with like regular size mortgage, like I got a family member who mortgage was $800. They bought their house, years ago, but with the increase in insurance, now they mortgage over $1,100. But their income ain't went up. Insurance went up. I talked to my insurance person, and she was like, yeah, insurance going up, like car insurance, home insurance going up, but people income ain't going up. So you know what this stuff mean? Is more people is, because they money is tight, they losing stuff. And because they losing stuff, they canceling stuff or they default on things. So now these companies is losing money. So for YouTube Premium to go from $12.99 to $18.99, I think that's the email I got, that let me know that they have had 1 million plus cancellations, that people are tight financially, and they are trimming the fat. They cutting everything that's not a necessity. And so what YouTube is saying is, we finna make the rest of y'all pay. Now Netflix had them been did it. I remember Netflix, I think I'm paying $21 for Netflix, but when Netflix started, they was $7. Now I don't know if they finna go through another raise. Now see me, I don't be raising stuff. My mentor.life is $19.99 a month for the coaches to join. And I started in 2020, and I have not done one raise yet. And now we in 2024. And guess what? This is people, these are coaches who can get booked. Without having to do any marketing, because I'm marketing the site. So they could get booked off of my marketing, and there's still thousands of coaches that cannot and will not pay $200 a year. $200 a year. $20 a month to get booked. Now, some people don't get booked for whatever reason, because it's up to the customer to choose who they want to book. And a lot of times people don't get booked. They don't have a professional headshot. They don't have a professional bio. They don't do what they're supposed to do to position themselves to get booked. But a lot of coaches do get booked, and they don't do no outside promotion, and they get booked. And then they'll see and they'll stay. Those coaches who get booked, they see the value, they stay. The coaches who don't get booked sometimes don't even have the funds to go get a professional headshot. get a professional bio, or do what they need to do to get in position to be booked, so they don't get booked. And then it was, oh, my wife, so this was another thing happened. My wife went to UPS to renew a box. And UPS last year for the box was $200, like $212 or something like that. How about UPS done went up to, I think, $450? Think about that. A 100% increase. You know why? It's probably because so many people canceled a box and YouTube lost millions of dollars. I'm not YouTube. UPS lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. And so another thing that's happening is a lot of companies are approaching creators right now. It's companies, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies that's approaching creators with money. And what they doing is they saying, and we getting ready to go through a crash, so it makes no sense for these companies to give out millions of dollars. But they started with this great idea: let's fund creators and eat off of creators. But guess what? Some of these companies now are going broke. Some of these companies have funded these creators and now they going broke. Now they need the money back, but they can't because they in a contract. So they can't tell you, hey, you got to pay up if you adhering to what you supposed to be doing. So now they need the money back. And they looking for creators like myself who consistent, who money don't fluctuate. You know, my YouTube money stay the same. It stay the same. Even with most subscribers, I know how to keep it where it need to be at. And so it ain't going up, but it ain't going down. And sometimes it'll go up. And so they looking, and because I work for the Lord and I'm living in my purpose, this right here is not work to me. This easy. Whereas a lot of creators, they not working for the Lord. So they on YouTube, a lot of YouTubers have burnout. I don't have burnout. I don't have burnout. If I'm going through something personally, but not from YouTube, I don't have burnout. Nah. Y'all, I hope y'all just friends. Two muscular men walking in the gym. Hope they're going to do a workout together and they just friends. Cause, well, if they more than friends, there's a lot of muscles to be banging around. If they a couple, that's a little interesting. And so I don't have burnout because I work for the Lord. And he is that eternal. The Lord is that eternal flame. So you're going to be good. But guess what now? These companies are coming and they saying, hey, creator, and I'm going to use myself for example. They offering anywhere from 80,000 to 300, about 300,000. Some creators, they offering 400,000, 500,000. Some creators, they offering $1 million. But guess what? They want a 40% return on their money. You know why? Because they know a creator live off of the money from YouTube. So they know that YouTube is a creator's job. Now, for me, it's a little different. They have a little struggle with me because I go back and forth with them and we'll talk about the different things because YouTube is probably 10 to 20% of my income. And so if YouTube was 100% of my income or even 50% of my income, then I'd be in a different situation. I'd be, oh yeah, let me have that money. But for me, YouTube is a very small portion, which it matters. It's still money, but it's a small portion of my income. And so I'm able to kind of, wait a little bit, take my little time. I'll entertain it, but what they want a 40% return. And so basically, if they say we're going to give you 2 years to pay us this amount, they asking for 20% each year. So yes, a 20% return, but it's really come out to 40% of what they done gave you. So basically, what I'm saying is they'll give you 100,000, but they want 140,000 back. And so they eat, because if you put 100,000 on the market and we go through a crash, your 100,000 in the next 12 months is going to be 80,000. And that 100,000 could be 60,000. And then it may take a couple years, and each year it may go back up 10%. So it might go, let's say it go 100,000 to 60,000, which that's what they kind of anticipating. They saying that this crash may be worse. All the financial people saying this crash may be worse than the Great Depression. So that means 100,000 on the market, for it to be worse than the Great Depression, they basically saying that your 100,000 finna be like 30,000, 40,000. And if your money is in the control of somebody else, you can't lean on, oh, the market is always safe. Oh, the market always performs. Oh, the market always this. Oh, the market. And people always say, oh, the market, oh, the market. Over 10 years, you might not have 10 years to live. So what if your money get chopped in half that's sitting on the market? If it's being traded, you might want to sit it somewhere that it ain't being traded, and so it's a bottom to where it can't go down lower. But if it's being traded on the market and these companies going bankrupt, these companies going out of business, the economy start to suffer, your 401k finna go way down. But it may take 10 years for it even to get back to where it was. So that's why they just said this. And this is the thing now. They're not selling everything, but they at least taking their profits off. So I just seen the other day, and Google this. Google Jeff Bezos sells Amazon stock and see how much it was. I can't remember. It was like hundreds of millions. I feel like it was hundreds of millions worth of stock that he sold. Google, Elon Musk sells Tesla stock. He sold a bunch of stock. Even search Bill Gates sells Microsoft stock. Like, search this here stuff and see. That lets you know if these people selling off. If they selling off, because the point of stocks is to leave it on there so it could keep growing. But if they selling off, that means it's finna be a crash. And I remember right before the crash in 2008, I think it was a billionaire in my county. I didn't know about it, but my daddy told me about it. He said she almost went to prison for insider trading because she had got tipped off that her company's stock was about to crash, and she sold off tens of millions worth of stock before we went through the crash. And he said she went to prison for it because, insider trading is a crime. So, which is like, why would you make that a crime? That lets you know that the system is a hoax. Because why would it be a crime for me to predict the market and get some insight on what's finna happen and move my money? Because they saying, no, we want you to be dumb and stay in the market to keep the market up, to keep the economy up, to keep the stock market up. So you got to stay in and stay dumb, stay locked in, stay dumb. Now, y'all tripping. You can't come off this here market now and have our economy crashing. So that's what they saying. So that's what you got to pay attention to. So look at your subscriptions and see if they going up. Because here's the thing. Rent going up, insurance going up, subscriptions going up. Why is everything going up if we about to crash? The reason why it's going up is because they are bracing themselves for the crash. So here's the thing. And I want you to think about this. If you got 10 people who give you $10 a month, that's $100, right? And let's say your bills are $50. I'm just using this low, small number so it's easy. Let's say your bills are $50, or let's say your bill's $80, and you got $100. Well, if 5 people fall out and say, hey, I can't do this subscription no more, now you at $50 in income, but $80 in bills. You can only last like that for probably 3 months, because by 3 months you have got your car repossessed, you have got your apartment, you've got evicted from your apartment or foreclosed on your home, and you can't afford gas, you can't afford grocery because your bills are 80, but your income is 50. So what do you got to do? You got to increase those 5 people. You got to increase those 5 people from $10 to $20. Because if you take them from $10 to $20, now you back at 100. But you honestly need cushion, because these your loyal, these the people who got it, these the people who could make it happen. But not everybody can afford to go from 10 to 20. So what they gonna do, or they might go, you may say, I'm gonna take them from $10 to $15. So you're gonna lose 1 or 2 of them. And then you say, I'm gonna just sacrifice, put it on credit cards or whatever to market to try to get 10 more people. And so this is what these companies, this is why they increasing these rates, because they losing people and they trying to charge the people who they know got it and need it. So that YouTube Premium is so convenient that because I can afford it, I don't want to cancel it. But guess what? Because I'm not finna be a part of price gouging, I'm canceling it. Yeah. Cancel! I'm finna watch the commercials on YouTube. Nah, I'm finna watch the commercials. If I can't close, because see, with YouTube Premium, I could play the video, close my phone, like my phone, turn it to the black screen, and the video keep playing. I can play the video, I can minimize the video, and be looking through other videos. And I have no ads that show. So that's YouTube Premium. So that $12.99 is worth it, and I think that's like a family plan or something like that. So now they finna go to $18.99. I'm canceling it. I'm gonna cancel at least for a few months, because I know it's finna be me and a million other people that cancel, and they gonna feel it. They gonna feel it, and then they get to hear, then they get to feel like, oh, y'all nasty, so pay the price for it. And because that's nasty to do that kind of increase. That's just disgusting work to do a 50% increase. It's insane. And so 40% increase. So this is what's happening. So I want you to realize this now. I want you to realize this. Think about this. Understand this. This is what's happening. So you got to be mindful that right now, before the crash happened, because we already getting tight right now, you got to be mindful that you're not doing wasteful spending, and that what you spending, it got a return on it. Whether that's investing in yourself, even if you're doing stuff like going out to eat or going on vacation, it need to have an emotional return. It need to be something to where you like, this is self-care, this filling my bucket. If I don't have money in 3 months, 6 months, I'm gonna be okay because I did this vacation, because I went out to eat, or what. They have to have a return, some type of return, whether that's tangible, intangible, whatever. It gotta be a return on it, and you got to be very diligent, because we getting ready to go through. Now they trying to prop it up because, you know, the president never like a recession to be on his watch. So they try to wait until the next person come in office or something like this, or something happen, you know, big in the world, to blame it on that. So they'll say, oh, the economy crashed because of the ripple effect of the war and such, or this over here or that over there. So that's why the economy crashed, so that it ain't on day watch for the economy failing. And so you got to get ready and be mindful. But this what hit me when I say, man, when companies, because I remember, I got a family member that I take care of their rent. And when I got that apartment, the rent was $1,900 a month. And this was like 2 years ago. And now the rent is like $2,300 a month. And I'm like, but I also went up because people start defaulting. So this company, the owner of this place, they got to charge the people, because they know you always going to have a group of people, a sector of people, that they're going to pay what they got to pay. They're going to pay what you charge them because they can afford it and because they need a place to stay. And then they know that, and that's going to cover the people that they lose through eviction. That's going to cover that. And that's what their hope is. But even with that, sometimes the bottom still fall out on people and the business go bankrupt. And so when you go through a crash, these companies that are not that necessary, they suffer. They suffer because people say, I don't need your service. I don't need what you're doing. And the reason why these companies are investing in creators is because they know that YouTube, although YouTube is going to suffer as well, YouTube is never going to die out completely, because YouTube is owned by Google. And Google Ads is the largest ad network in the world. So when you pass by a billboard in your city, when you look on that billboard, it may say Comcast or One Channel or Landmark, or it's certain companies throughout Outpost. It's certain, today pay attention to the name on the bottom of the billboard. Like, that's the marketing company. Like, that's the company who owns that billboard. So pay attention to that. It's only a handful of them. Those companies, those marketing companies that take care of all them billboards, they have like 1%. Their marketing spend that people spend to be on those billboards will be like 1% compared to Google Ads. Because with Google Ads, every entrepreneur, not just major corporations. So when you watch my video and you see advertisements, pay attention to who's doing it. It's going to be major companies, and then it's going to be random entrepreneurs. It's going to be all different kind of people that run ads on these videos, because from the bottom to the top, use Google Ads. So Google Ads is never going out of business. They're going to have less money because a company who loses clientele, who lose a customer base, who lose a portion of their customer base. So let's say this company loses 10% of their customer base. If they lose 10% of their customer base, they may have to decrease their marketing spend by 10%, 20%, or whatever, because they've lost some of their customer base, so they don't have the same money. But they can't cut it all the way out, because they need to have, ma'am, it's bathrooms inside. Ma'am, it's bathrooms inside. She got her son peeing behind my car. See, the thing about it, I have to comment on what be going on around me, because sometimes it just be so shocking. Ma'am, there are bathrooms inside the building. Why do you got your son outside peeing? They got all kind of bathrooms in there, ma'am. She got her son out here peeing. And he wanted to pee facing my car. Like he wanted to pee on my car. She had to tell him, go turn around. Nobody's looking at your Willie. I forgot to call a Willie. I'm going to start calling it a Willie. I feel bad for somebody named Willie. Got a ding-a-lang name. That's unfortunate. And so this is the thing. So they will always have to pay something. Spend something because they still got to acquire new clients. Otherwise, they just going to go out of business. Like, they got to spend something on marketing. So they may say, okay, we was making $1 billion. Now we making 800 million. That's enough to put somebody out of business. So 20% loss in revenue could put somebody out of business. But they still going to say, well, we still got to take 200 million or at least 80 million. And we got to spend that on marketing because we need to try to get people who got money or getting a check or got something. We need to try to convert them into a client. Even though we didn't get them before the crash, we need to try to get them in the crash. And then what's going to happen is the country not going to let us completely bottom out. They let it go for a while, but then they do what they always do, and they're going to print money. And that just shows you how fake money is. But they're going to print money. And what I mean by that is the country already in debt. So the country should never be able to give a stimulus check because we in trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. So the company shouldn't be able to give a stimulus check. But the company is going to give a stimulus check because they finna create new money. And when they get a stimulus check, now people have cash. Corporations know that humans will rely on their spending patterns and stick to their spending patterns even when they broke. So you could be flat broke and get a tax return. And although you've been broke and stressed and crying, you still spend that tax return like you rich. And you will use that tax return to buy new clothes that you don't need, or to go on a vacation, or to do something. You'll spend that tax return on something that you shouldn't be spending it on. Loaning money, doing something. And it's like, you shouldn't be doing that with this tax return. You should be letting this tax return sit in your bank account to subsidize and supplement your earnings in low times. So the tax return, if it's $3,000, it should be there so that when things get tight, you can pull from that 3K. But people will get their tax return and it be gone in 1 to 2 weeks because they spend it the same way they spend as if they had just extra money. So corporations study this, and they have people who study the spending habits and spending patterns of their consumer base. So in the recession, which we already in a recession, they just not calling that. So in the recession, they're going to take and in this recession, they're going to take and they still going to spend money marketing. They're going to spend money marketing, especially when the government give a stimulus check. Because they're going to say, right now, people got extra money. So we need to just hemorrhage cash. We need to leverage cash. We need to use credit. Because there's always going to be the 1% is always going to have money. The 1% will always have money. So what the 1% will do is they will fund companies like these companies that's coming to me to offer me money so that they could make money off of my back throughout the crash, because they know that human individual labor will be greater than corporation production. So they know that we are going to work daily as creators throughout the crash, and we're going to make content about the crash and during the crash, and that we're going to make